Hello there and welcome back to my channel. I make several videos a week all about cruelty-free beauty, so if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I hope you'll please consider subscribing. Now in today's video I have a super fun one. I'm going to be testing out some new rare beauty products. I got these products in over the weekend and I have been dying to sit down and just test them out, just see how they go. This is one of my most favorite brands. Anytime she launches anything new, I try to get what I can. So I did pick up her new eyeshadow palette, which is the Give Yourself Grace eyeshadow palette. And these are just really stunning shades. I love how you have like a more warm tone side, and then you have more of a cooler tone side as well. So I will be doing two looks with this palette for sure. The look I'm wearing right here in my intro is the first look you'll be seeing, where I use more of the warm tones. And the second thing I purchased were the two new limited edition shades that she released just quite recently. I think these come out this past Thursday. I have all the other liquid blushes that she has, so when she announced two new ones, I had to get my hands on them. I'm hoping that she will make them permanent, because so far, as you see in my intro, I'm just wearing one of the shades. I have yet to try the other one out yet, but I already know I'm gonna love it. These are beautiful blushes. They last all day. They're incredibly pigmented. We all know how beautiful these blushes are. So the two shades are Virtue and Worth, and that's Worth. Boom, these are terrible swatches, but this one is Worth and this one is Virtue. They're so pretty. There you go, maybe you can see that a little better. And the last thing I picked up was one of the new lip oils. I only picked up one shade, but I wish I had picked up more because these are beautiful. Spoiler, these are beautiful. They're super pigmented. I picked up the shade Joy because I love me a warm shade. That's what that shade looks like right there. So pretty. It's like a warm orangey, peachy, maybe coral is a better term. That is just so pretty. So I will be doing two different looks using these products. So I will have timestamps listed for you below so you can skip around if you just want to see certain products. But I do hope that you enjoyed the video. Okay, I'm going to start with this shade right here on a blending brush from e.l.f. Just going to start running that in my crease. I wanted to focus on the warm side of the palette today, and I'll do the more cooler tone tomorrow. I'll admit that in the past, I've never been too impressed by these eyeshadow palettes. I mean, they're not terrible. They're not terrible palettes at all. It's just, I don't know. I feel like this brand shines the most in their complexion products, but because I love this brand so much, I just want to support the brand. And I have the other eyeshadow palette, so I wanted to pick this one up too and give it a shot, but it's blending out very nicely. Okay, and on an eyeshadow C brush from e.l.f., I'm going to take this shade right here, and I'm going to stamp that on my outer corner and my inner corner as well. I'm going to do kind of like a halo eye today. These shades are really nice and pigmented too. Like I haven't been struggling at all so far, so that's really nice to see. And I'm going to go back to that blending brush and blend around that shade just a little bit. And then I'm going to take this shade right here on my finger, and I'm going to put that in the center of my lid. That feels kind of like a topper shade, but it's still very pretty. Like, it shows up real nicely. Okay, I'm just going to quickly do my mascara, my lashes, and I'm going to go ahead and also do like my foundation, concealer, bronzer, because the next new product I have is a blush. So I'm going to just quickly do all of that off camera, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going back into this shade right here on an eyeshadow C brush from e.l.f. I'm going to run that on my lower lash line. These false eyelashes that I picked out are huge. Maybe kind of spider leggy, kind of, but I still like them. And then on that same brush, I'm going back in with this shimmer shade right here, and I'm going to put that kind of in the center of my lower lash line. It might not show up much on camera, but it just adds a pretty little pop of shimmer in person. Okay, I'm just going to quickly finish up my lower lash line with some mascara, and then we can move on to the blush and the lip oil. And while I was editing, I completely forgot to show a close-up of my eyes. So here is a close-up. I'm going to go in with a new blush in the shade Virtue. I thought this might be a really pretty option for this more warm tone look. I'm just going to put a dot on the back of my hand like that, and then kinda, such a pretty color. And I'm just going to take my sponge and dip into that very lightly, because I know these are incredibly pigmented, and just start pressing that in with my sponge, picking up just a little bit as I go. Ooh, that's a pretty shade. That is such a beautiful color. I love that warmth. And then for the final new product I got, I picked up one of the new lip oils. This one is in the shade Joy. It's a pretty warm tone shade, and it will be, I think, perfect with this look. And I have been using this over the past weekend, and it is quite pigmented, but it is beautiful. I mean, just look at that. Wow, that is beautiful. And there you have look number 1 with this palette, and then one of the new blush shades as well as the new lip oil. I'm definitely going to be doing another look with the eyeshadow palette as well as using the other blush in this video, so stay tuned for part 2. Okay, I'm going to go in with this shade right here on a blending brush from e.l.f. I'm going to do more of the cooler tone side today, or it looks cooler, a little bit cooler tone in the pan, but I don't know, this shade's pulling a little warm on me, which I'm not mad at because I do prefer warm tones a little more for me. I will say that I might have to take back my statement that I made in yesterday's look when I said that I feel like eyeshadows just are not my favorite from this brand, because this palette has done an excellent job. Like I wasn't disappointed at all with that look yesterday. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with this shade right here on a concealer brush from e.l.f. And both of these are more shimmery shades, but I am going to try to use this light just to deepen my outer corner. It should work. Damping that in first before I go in and blend. It's a pretty shade. I'd love to see that shade all over the lid. But I want to go in with a different shimmer shade on the beginning portion of my lid, because I want to use every shade in this palette. Okay, I'm going to go back to that blending brush with nothing on it and just go around where I put that shimmer shade. And then I'm going to take this shade right here on my finger and I'm going to put that on the beginning portion of my lid. And just blend around those edges again with that fluffy brush I have. And then last, I'm going to take a little bit of this pressed glitter shade, and I'm just going to place that right where those two shades meet, just to add a little bit of sparkle. Now I'm just going to quickly put on some lashes, move my mascara and all that, and do the rest of my face, and I'll be right back to do the lower lash line as well as the blush. Okay, I'm going to go back in with this shade right here. I'm going to take that on that concealer brush again from e.l.f. and just start running that on my lower lash line. Putting most of that color on this outer portion first, because I'm going to go in with that lighter shimmer on the inner corner. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with this shade right here on that same brush, and I'm going to put that on the inner portion. I'm going to take a little bit more of that pressed glitter shade and just kind of lightly press some of that on this inner corner. Okay, I'm just going to put some mascara on my lower lash line and the eyes will be all done. And here are the eyes all done. Okay, and for today I'm going in with the blush in the shade Worth. And this one looks like that. Ooh, so pretty. It's a pretty shade. Just going to take a little bit, like I did yesterday. Because something tells me this one might be more pigmented than yesterday's. Alright, and that is look number 2 with this palette and using the other blush shade. Now, I didn't use the lip oil again today simply because it just wouldn't have matched this look. That is more of like an orangey coral shade, and I wanted something a little more neutral rosy for this look today. But all of the products that I'm wearing will be listed for you below. And just to recap everything, we'll just start out with the blushes, of course, because these are beautiful. I love this blush line. I think Rare Beauty makes some of the best liquid blushes out there. They're worth every single penny. You will have them forever. They last so long because you just need the teeniest amount. So it goes without saying that, of course, I would tell anybody and everybody to try these blushes. They're beautiful. And these new shades, no exception. The lip oil, I wish I had gotten more shades because now I think probably I believe over half of them are now out of stock, which rightfully so. They're beautiful. I love how once the shine kind of wears away, you're left with a stain, at least with this shade. I of course can't speak for the other shades, but this one did leave like a really pretty stain that lasted for a long time. I definitely love these, and once there is a restock, I definitely will be picking up some more shades of this for sure. I wish I had picked up more initially, especially the shade Happy, because I love the blush shade in Happy, so I would have loved to have gotten the lip oil in that shade too. And the eyeshadow palette, I am really impressed with the quality of this one. I feel like this one might be the best one out of all of them. And there again, I don't think that her eyeshadow palettes are bad by any means. I don't. I just feel like when you compare them to other eyeshadow palettes, there are some that I prefer, but this is a really beautiful palette. I don't think you'd be disappointed if you picked it up. And if you do kind of collect and hoard Rare Beauty like myself, then I definitely think it would be something that you would love to pick up. Now, if you're someone who you just buy makeup casually, or you maybe have a lot of neutral palettes, then it might not be a palette you want, because it is a neutral palette and you probably could dupe these shades out, especially if you have a lot of palettes from a brand like ColourPop that makes a lot of eyeshadow. But all in all, I'm very impressed with this palette as well. I think it's really nice quality. I didn't have any issues with either look I did, and yesterday's look lasted all day long. It didn't crease, it didn't fade. Everything looked beautiful by the end of the day. All in all, a very good experience with these new products, but I figured it would be because, I mean, it's Rare Beauty. But I do hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was any help at all with these new products, and thank you so very much for watching. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.